Hi, and welcome to Weekly Oracle Reading with Katie VanZeeland. This reading is for the week of January 1st through January 7th, 2018, our first reading of the new year. Yay! So this week we're using Lucy Cavendish's Oracles of the Mermaids. So the deck has been cleared. We're asking an infinite love, infinite creator, guide and empower this message for our highest good and greatest joy. Okay. So, the cards felt weird. Kind of fun. All right, let's see what we got. We have freedom, independence, self-determination, the crane bag, sacred ocean medicine, clutter and declutter, choice and sanctuary, privacy, personal space, respect your boundaries, and taboos. Okay. So, wow. So as we are moving into this new year, right? New beginnings, new starts. Everyone has their, things that they like to reflect on and look back and say what they want to do differently. And it's a very powerful time of the year. And really cool is that there is a full moon, a super moon on the 1st of January. So with this moon, it's a time for love and forgiveness. And remember, it's when things get full. So there might be a lot of emotion around this moon, a lot of full emotions. And just be aware not to compromise yourself based off that desire for love, okay? So just keep in mind that the energies and the magic that's happening, even just to start the year, it's the 11. I like numbers too. So it's like the 11th year, which is very powerful. It's a master number. It's very powerful. So we're in for an amazing treat this year. Lots of opportunity for transformation and personal evolution to your highest, best self. So, yay. And with that, these cards are beyond perfect, talking about our freedom, our independence, our self-determination, and realizing that we are free. And it's tying it to, the personal space and the privacy and kind of getting still, that stillness. And then you create your boundaries from that stillness. When we get still, we're able to realize that we aren't the small self, the small Katie or the small Susie or Jackie or Bob, whoever's listening. You're not that small self. And when we don't take time to stop and get still and reflect, we forget that we're not that person that's always just doing, that there's some aspect of our self, our bigger self, that resides underneath all of the busyness. So meditation and getting still really allows you to put things back in perspective, that you don't spend the rest of your life caught up in the doing of the small self. And that small part of you, if you only believe that that's all you are, you're going to feel restricted. You're going to be in an imprisoned box. And so the freedom card is reminding us that we are totally free. We are independent. We are limitless beings. We are completely free. But if we only believe in that small part of ourselves that is always doing, we don't realize this. We're going to continuously lock ourselves up into that small aspect of the little you. And this is going to cause lots of discomfort throughout life. And the best way to realize you're bigger than just the part of you that needs to do or roles that you need to play is to get still, go within, find your sanctuary, go within, get your boundaries so that you can get your sanctuary, and realize that you are way bigger than you could ever fathom. And this invokes this freedom of truth within. And you move from that space, this freedom space, this big you, this connected you, this spiritual you, this evolved you. So the center card is the crane bag, which is all about decluttering and choice. So in order to get the clarity that we're talking about, we do need to declutter. We do need to let the dead leaves fall off. We do need to just clear out things that either are taking up space physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. Declutter. Some of you, that might mean decluttering your workspace, your home space. For some of you, it might be decluttering relationships. Some of you, it might be decluttering thoughts and old programming that go on in your head that waste so much time and energy and space. So it's great to start to declutter and become aware of the things that you can let go of, that you can release, that you can clear out at this time in your life. There's no need to hang on to it. And anything that's still grabbing onto these things is fear, right? If we're grabbing back on to certain things, that's fear. And that is you believing in this small aspect of you, that you are this, the only part of you is the part that does and is out, expanding yourself out in the world. So tying this into the full moon, with the full moon, the sun and the moon are opposite of each other. So the polarities are presented more than we're used to. So the sun is the outward expression, letting your light shine, the energy that goes out. And the moon is more of your internal world and your hidden aspects. So it's balancing the two. It's balancing the two and knowing that you are all of it. You are not just this little definition of the small you. So in order to allow that expansion of awareness to settle in, we do need to find our sanctuary, go within, meditate, get still, feel your bigger essence. And meditation doesn't need to be hard. It doesn't, if it's a struggle for you, then do something that exhausts you or take a nap. This will allow you to stop the crazy thought process. Or sit and just be still. Sit and just be still. And don't worry if you have lots of thoughts. Don't worry about it. That is so normal. Meditation the goal is not to clear your mind. It may happen every once in a while, which is great. And it's like, whoa, yay, I had a moment of no thought. But that is not the goal every time you meditate. The goal is to just take a moment to get still. And it's a practice, right? It's just doing it and starting it and make it be a regular practice, even if it's 3 minutes, or even if it's just being aware of your breath more often throughout the day. But it's going to be really important to anchor into your higher self as you move forward in this new year. And the only way to anchor in is to get still and realize your expansive self. If you're just anchoring into your small self, into the part that just does things externally in this world, you're anchoring into a prison. You're anchoring into a jail that's locking you into restrictiveness and you are expansive. You are free. You are this free, expansive being. So meditation allows us to get still, anchor into the truth that we are these expansive, powerful beings, way beyond you can fathom if you're still only thinking you're the small you. Okay? So fun stuff, powerful stuff this year as we move into this year of embodiment, connecting with our physical self and allowing our expansiveness to permeate outward. Okay, but we have to anchor in to the expansive self first. Okay, and for some of us that might mean decluttering. It's a time to just really let go. What else is there to do, right? Why are we hanging on to these things? It's time. It's time. Let's just let them go. And you know what they are. And some of the things we don't know, but we'll know when we get still, when we find our boundaries. And we need to invoke boundaries in order to take the time to get still and go within and tune into our expansive spiritual selves. Okay. Awesome. Awesomeness. We're going to pull a card from the fifth agreement. Yeah, the fifth agreement. Okay. It says, I don't believe everything I hear. So this is a powerful message. Whenever I hear a message, I ask, is it truth or is it fiction? Doubt takes me beyond the words and helps me discern the truth. And that happens not just with other people, but within yourself. Question, okay, is this coming from my higher self connected to spirit, or is this coming from the small aspect of me that is trying to maintain an image, trying to maintain something that is definable and is usually attached to ego, as hidden as it might be. Even if your light is shining, there can be ego in that. So it's taking the time to get still and to really tune into that bigger aspect and ask yourself, is this true? Is this true? And play with it. Don't believe everything you hear. Use discernment. And this is going to come as you create your sanctuary and use discernment with your boundaries. What you hear and what others say, or what your internal dialogue is, becomes clearer. Truth becomes clearer as you declutter and clear out the things that are lies or illusions. And what you hear, a lot of it is just, you can just let it move on through, right? There's just a little bit of truth out there, and you'll know it when you hear it. But a lot of it is noise. So just being aware and letting the noise just move past. They'll need to get angry or frustrated. But if you do, that's fine. But just know that a lot of it can just move on through. Okay? Use discernment with what you hear. Okay? All right. Let's pull a crystal card. Let's see what we got this week. Okay, so we have Agatized Quarrel, strengthening, supportive, and healing. I easily release traumatic emotions and I am healed. It's beautiful. So this crystal might help as you are decluttering and clearing out the things that are keeping you from tapping into your expansive self, the self that is just that just is here, that you just are without the doing. So the agatized crystal might help clear out and heal some of those wounds and traumatic events that we get caught up in and allow to define who we think we are, right? We have events in our life that then we become identified by, and that's not who we are. So sometimes we need help with that, right? Because traumatic events can really cause us to be distracted into believing that we are those things, or they define us somehow. And to be able to detach from them, to tune into our truth and our true essence is not easy, but it's doable. And it's hard when it's traumatic events because they're painful. A lot of them are really painful, mentally, physically, emotionally, beyond words, the pain. But it's not who you are either. And so maybe if that is where you are at, maybe play with the quarrel, the Agatized Quarrel. Maybe it'll help you move through some of those traumatic events or things that you get attached to defining who you are, which brings you into the small you, and allowing you then to do some healing in that area, and so that you have more of a chance or more moments of tapping into truth, the expanded self, the freedom space, right? That space that you really realize you are free from it all. It's amazing. So, all right. Okay, I think that's all we got. It's a lot, and I hope you have an amazing, magical, beautiful, graceful, loving, gentle, compassionate start to your new year. Just remember, it is starting with a full moon that can be intense, so be gentle with yourself. If you're having lots of emotions, no worries, they'll pass through. But just know that it is an intense time to allow the polarities, and it brings any imbalances to light, and it really will help us to declutter those things that keep us stagnated into our small selves. So use the amazing energy of the universe as it is so perfectly divinely aligned for us. Yay! Awesome. I am super excited to be starting this journey with you in 2018. Have a fantastic week, and I can't wait to see you next week.